Well, I hope you all are safe this morning. Um, it's been an interesting couple of days for me. I'm sure it has for you too. After all, we're living through a situation that you probably couldn't make believable in fiction. That's right, folks. We had a hurricane hit Florida, split in half, and go both east and west. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? You expect people to believe that? If I were to put that in a fiction book, nobody'd freaking believe it. It's so unbelievable that you would have a hard time writing about it. And, I'd like to say that no, I was not affected by this weekend's storms. But I can't even say that I was hit by the hurricane. I'm too far north. I'm too far west. This thing entered on the panhandle of Florida. And it's hitting northern Indiana. What? No. I'm not buying it, but think about it from a fiction perspective. You're going to write a book about a hurricane that hits a state. It splits in half and goes two different directions. What? No, I'm not buying it. But I am safe. The power's back on. I started paying bills Friday morning, and I got through most of them because that client finally paid. And I got through most of them. I got through rent and a couple other bills. And then all of a sudden things started not working. Like I got my cell phone bill paid, but I couldn't pay my internet. All right. And there was something else I couldn't pay due to just the site was acting weird. So I left them alone. But I wonder if they'll buy that as an excuse. Sorry, I couldn't pay the bill because your website was down because of the thunderstorms. Does that work? Is that a valid excuse? Somehow I doubt it because they're all gimme, greedy these days. So the power was out from about 7 p.m. Friday, and it tried to go out for about an hour and a half before then. So it really started about 6 o'clock. So then it was out all night, which meant I got to listen to scratch, thump, chitter, all goddamn night. Thanks a lot. I hate raccoons. I just can't express to you how much I hate raccoons. So that was my Friday into Saturday night. I got up and the power's still off. That's a problem. That's a problem because usually the power is only out about 60 minutes, maybe 90. This town's pretty quick. And for years, I thought they had their own power company. Turns out they're a subsidiary of Duke Energy. Oops. Boy, do I really got to get out of here now. I freaking hate Duke Energy. And it was probably a problem on their end. Because I walked around town. It was raining so bad yesterday that I couldn't walk around town. It wasn't raining so bad that people couldn't take their cars out and drive to other towns to see if the power was on. There was no damage in town. There was no damage in a 10-mile radius. Why was the power out here? I wonder if Duke Energy will answer that one. But this town does not have its own power station, so that's a problem. For years I thought it did. But no, we're reliant on this conglomerate that's actually based out in North Carolina And one of my neighbors asked me, could it be the problems in North Carolina causing our power outage? I said, it better not be, because North Carolina is like 4 states away and 13-hour drive. A 13-hour drive. I know, because I used to live in North Carolina. And I used to drive back to Indiana. So if Duke Energy, if a problem in North Carolina caused a power outage in Indiana, the regulatory authorities need to be getting on that one. It shouldn't happen. And here's the deal. Because we live in Indiana, and we not only live in Indiana, we live in northern Indiana. We're nowhere near Kentucky and Tennessee. Okay, that's a hell of a drive to go south to Kentucky and Tennessee. Okay, Indiana's a very long state. In fact, I'm closer to Ohio than I am to freaking Kentucky. So, dust. So I was talking to my neighbors, and none of us are prepared. As many preparation channels as I watch, and I really didn't have anything. Because I'm waiting on a scooter delivery that I also ordered Friday so that I could get around a little faster. So nobody's prepared, because that stuff's not supposed to come up this far north. So now we're dealing with a 7 to 7 is 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. It was like an 18-hour power outage. By about noon, I was like, I may actually have to walk like many, many miles to get some ice. Because everything in the fridge is going to go bad. And the only thing I have to charge my cell phone with is an energy emergency radio. But in order to charge the phone, it has to have batteries in it, like real batteries. Even though you can use multiple other ways to charge it, it won't charge the phone without a real set of batteries. And I did not have a real set of batteries, because I use them for the lights in here too. So that was a problem. And I did eventually go into town, and there was no damage, and I started looking at the stores. The people were still there, but they were not open because there was no power. Why would the employees be in the stores, but they're not open? I have never seen that before in this town, but it doesn't take a genius to figure out they were doing loss prevention. They had the stores staffed in the power outage so that people wouldn't steal shit. That has never happened in this town. Nobody has ever robbed a store during a power outage in this town. I suppose they were thinking people from maybe the nearest city would come down here and start robbing shit. That's not a good sign either. So that's great. So the power finally comes back on about 1 p.m. and the internet is still out. Are you kidding me? Why is the internet out? So I load up my laptop and start plugging in the story. I've been working on Gimme, Gimme, Greedy, Greedy, the story all day yesterday, because pen and paper still works. And I needed something to do since there was nothing else to do. So I started plugging that into my laptop. And I mean, it's the internet's not on at 2 o'clock. It's not on at 3 o'clock. Eventually I just get mad. I'm like, you know what? You wouldn't let me pay my bill yesterday, Friday. And now the power's not on. So you know what? I'm going to fire up this phone hotspot because the cell phone is still working. And I'm going to watch a movie, and I'm going to load up the internet, and my internet company is going to pay for all of this because I've had it with them. Freaking internet's still out and the power's on. So I ended up doing that for a couple hours, and I still have to call him and get him to credit the bill because I'm sure as hell not paying for it. But eventually, late, the internet actually comes back on, so I'm able to use the real internet. Just stupid. Did I mention I'm too far north for this BS? The only thing we usually have to worry about is tornadoes. And really, we're almost too far north for that, too. So yeah, that's how that goes. And of course, I woke up this morning to misbehaving pests, which is great. And we can put Google on that one, too, because I loaded up my computer, which was off for almost 24 hours, because my main computer does not have Wi-Fi. So there's no point in my booting it up until I actually have a real internet connection. And they're like, your account privileges have been blah, blah, blah. Well, that's ridiculous because you haven't been on. Turns out that I went over my limit on Google's arbitrary BS for their storage. So I wrote them another feedback that you need to stop your gimme greedy with this storage BS. And they pulled up literally an article telling me how I can delete my account. I guess everybody's had it with their BS on this buy our storage crap. Because now, anybody who has a problem with it gets an article on how to delete your account. That's real adult. I tell you, I keep telling you these companies are acting like toddlers. Whiny, spoiled children. And this is another, proof to that. Really? If you don't like it, just delete your account. Okay. You need grounded and put in your room until you act right. So anyway, I've really kind of had it this morning with everything. But I'm moving in the right direction on the gimme greedy story. I'm up to scene, or actually they're called episodes. I'm up to episode 11. So that's something. I was only on episode 8 for a while because I was reading the whole thing through again to make sure it was worthwhile. But I guess that's the only update I've got, or all the updates I've got. I'm fine. Power's back on. The roof didn't blow off. Nothing catastrophic happened here. I hope you guys are all right and staying safe and dry. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.